Today I think we are going to finally install the headers on the car. I'm waiting for a couple more things from Subaru, but that's not going to stop us. I'm going to install the headers, the Uppipe, and then we're going to install the turbo, the turbo inlet and all that, and just get a little bit closer to being able to start it. One thing I want a big thank you to the guys over at Grimmspeed, specifically Art. Thanks, Art, for sending over the master gasket kit. If you're ever doing anything with the exhaust system, whether even it's the downpipe and headers for whatever reason, it pays just to get the whole kit. It's 80 bucks and you get your manifold, turbo to uppipe, downpipe, another one, and then your downpipe gasket. So for 80 bucks you get all of the gaskets that you're gonna need to do any of the hot side stuff. Whereas if you piece it together, it might get a little bit more expensive. And a lot of times, as long as you're not violent removing them, they're kind of reusable. It's worth it just to get the entire kit. Saves a lot of hassle in the long run. Plus, it's always good just to have these guys on standby because you'd rather have these hanging, blow out a gasket and have it versus having to order and wait for shipping or anything like that. So we are going to be installing the Uppipe, the headers, as well as I also had to purchase separately the 3-bolt gasket because I'm running Tomei Headers, so it's a 3-bolt gasket versus a 2-bolt. And yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. We're gonna throw the headers on there, the Uppipe, and possibly the turbo. Now, as you guys can tell, the Tomei headers I went with are equal length. Here's a comparison shot. They're equal length, as well as my 3-bolt Uppipe that goes with the Tomei headers. These were awesomely coated with Cerakote from Joe over at Prodigy Powdercoating. Hit him up, he did the manifold as well, and he mentioned that he was doing a big batch spray of burnt bronze. So we had these done. It's a really awesome heat coating. I'm not a fan of header wrap because it can degrade the metal and eventually rot out the metal, and there's not much going back. So if you have a really expensive set of headers, you can ruin them really easily. So Cerakote is a completely different option, and it's a thermal barrier. As you guys can tell, I got the headers in. It was kind of a lot of banging going on. I bought these secondhand from Jeff from Circuit Demon, and the slip joints on these is a common failure point. So he ended up having them welded up, which is perfectly fine. It's typical repair on these because these typically break off and then they just whatever. So typically they're a lot easier to get on, but again, being secondhand, I expected this no problem at all. Beautiful, that Cerakote didn't damage them much at all. So now we can go ahead and put the Uppipe on and keep moving forward. DJ Hunt. As I mentioned before, a lot of the parts that were most expensive were actual Subaru OEM pieces, like this drain hose. Mine was completely destroyed, just dry rotted, so I picked up a new one. It was 11 bucks. I'll link it in the description. All the gaskets, all the tubes I had to use to replace the turbo, but we're gonna put this in now. So now that the now that the Uppipe is loosely mounted to the headers, we're gonna put the reinforcement brackets that tie from the transmission to the Uppipe and the head to the Uppipe. Then once we get that all snug up, then we can go down below and tighten those 3 bolts up.